Hi, this is Jake from the White Buffalo, and you're listening to Sonic Perspectives.
Remember days before the fire, before the flood, when houses were filled with laughter and love. The winded house like demon dogs hit from above.
Hello everyone and welcome to another interview of Sonic Perspectives. I'm Rodrigo and today I'll be talking to Jake Smith, aka the White Buffalo. Jake, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, thank you, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Whereabouts are you located exactly?
I'm in the Valley, in Los Angeles County.
Oh, awesome. I'm here in Toronto anyway. Much colder than where you are, but we carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, give us an overview of your new album, One on the Widow's Walk.
Yeah, it's a journey. There's some kind of introspective things. It kind of started as a concept idea, with this kind of Widow's Walk idea. I was kind of building a story around that concept of kind of the rooftop deck, and the wives would go out and up on top of these perches to go look for their husbands or significant others as they were to come back from sea. I just thought there was a lot of drama and a lot of possibilities to kind of build that story. But then in turn, other songs kind of started seeping in, and I didn't really want to limit it to a concept album and all these kind of personal songs, but then other kind of narratives also came in. And so it turned into something a little bit looser and grander than that of than a singular narrative, you know?
I understand. Yeah. And you had a listening party a few hours ago today. How was the reception to the new songs?
Yeah, people really seem to be loving it. I mean, the fans, everybody, they couldn't have been more pleased. I mean, it seemed like there was something they needed. It was almost like medicine for them to, it's been a while since I put something out, and especially in these times when you get some good news or you get some, and able to take some kind of escape, people were really touching on almost each individual song as everybody was like, oh, this one, and all different naming different songs, which is great to hear.
Yeah, I mean, the first song on the album is Problem Solution, and I love the line, they say follow your heart, but he's confused about everything. That's kind of where everybody is right now, to a large extent, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, it is really odd how, you change the environment or your perspective or where things are at, and obviously this is one of the weirder times in most of our history.
It is.
In our lifetimes, and it's weird how now having people absorb these songs in those times, some of them are like almost like I'm talking exactly about what's happening right now, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah. And you had a Shooter Jennings in the producer's seat and also on piano and keyboards. How did he contribute to the end result of the album?
Oh, he was huge to it. I mean, he was huge at the beginning. I mean, he inspired me. Our first kind of meeting, other than our little day drinking session that we had, our first like kind of writing session, but it wasn't really. It was kind of just a arrangement and session was him basically just filling me up and validating a lot of the songs that I was working on when I didn't think they had as much potential or worth as he did, and he kind of inspired me to just light that fire and, hit a real prolific time when I didn't think I had much. But then in the studio, it was immeasurable. I mean, he was just sprinkling the magic dust everywhere. It was a very loose kind of idea, but he was a big part in having my band be a big part of the recording process, or at least more so than they ever have in the past, where they're there the whole time and contributing, and as well as just him sitting in. I mean, it was super organic, basically just taking complete tracks, at least of the rhythm section, and him all sitting in a room together. And, you can really feel it and really feel kind of the breath and the space, as well as the dynamics and the feel of the songs. And so, he was amazing. Great.
Oh, yeah.
Good, really good friend now too, which is sweet how that blossomed into that really quickly.
Oh, nice. And of course, with you and Shooter on the album are Matt Linotan on drums and Christopher Hoffey on bass, right?
Yeah, it's Matt Linotte on drums, his machine, and Christopher Hoffey on bass. And then Hoffey played a bunch of electric guitar on this album as well. Matt did some other percussion. We had some people in Shooter's band, or the fiddle player, violin player played on it. And basically mostly it was just me, Matt, Christopher, and Shooter, with a couple little overdubs from Christopher on electric guitar and a little bit of keyboard work post from Shooter, but the majority of it was just us all in the room together, you know. It was really quick.
Yeah, no, it's a very organic album for sure. Yeah. And this is always a tough question, but are you able to compare this album with your previous ones, or?
I mean, for me, I'd never recorded in this process, you know. A lot of it's more piecemeal, where you kind of bring it, you know, you bring the drummer in for 2 days and he lays down the drum tracks, and then you bring that I'll lay down some vocals, or I'll lay down some guitar, and we'll bring the bass player in and he'll play for a couple of days. This was such a live process, which I've always kind of been chasing. And seems like that's our whole brand, is kind of this emotion brand and this honest, real thing, you know, that we're trying to create. And there's no bells and whistles. It just kind of is what it is. And I feel like that it came across better on this album than it ever has. And that being said, I think the songs are good. I think I was in a good place to let kind of both the dark and the light in. And yeah, I tried to hit all not all of them, but a lot of the emotional places, you know.
Oh, yeah. No, there's a broad range of emotions on the album for sure. But would you say there's a common thread between the songs? I know you said it started as a concept, but then you sort of drift away.
Yeah, I did drift away from just because the way I thought, I did a concept album with Shadows, Grays, and Evil Ways, which was a complete narrative, which would go from one song to the next in a very linear way, with a beginning and an end. And that's how I was thinking about attacking the Widow's Walk idea. But then when I had the other songs come in, inadvertently, a lot of those songs started getting some of the themes of what the bigger picture would have been. So there's a lot of water, there's a lot of longing, there's a lot of kind of disenfranchised separation of things that I was seeing in the sea and in the ocean and in that construct of the concept album. But it's looser. It's obviously looser, you know.
I see. And my favorite so far is No History. What can you tell us about that track in particular?
Yeah, that one, it's about not living in the past, you know, not living in your history and not living with fear or prospects of the future, and living in today and living in what is. That's all you can really control is now. And, you know, we approached it. It's upbeat, it's up tempo, but almost has like, Christopher approached it in, guitar-wise, kind of, it leans almost to like a late 80s, 90s song. It's kind of definitely the most kind of pop approach. And with the melody of the chorus and then kind of the melody of that guitar line, you know, it feels really good. I think that's pretty rare, at least for me, not being a super virtuoso in my playing. But yeah, no, it was nice. I like that track as well.
And interesting concept as well on Cursive, where you kind of address the relentless march of technology in there.
That song came oddly slow, but then very fast. Like all I really had the night before I recorded the vocal on that was the very first line of, you know, when they, if they stop writing in cursive, I don't know what I'll do. And that's all I had. But that was a whole idea, was kind of these things that are, one, that we're losing because of technology, just things that aren't relevant anymore, and there's beautiful things that were once relevant that maybe aren't so much.
Oh, yeah.
But then it was the with the advent of screens and technology that we're starting to lose kind of that human connection between each other. And I think that's maybe my favorite or most kind of poignant track on the album.
I have a 5-year-old and they don't write in cursive anymore, those young kids. So it's a great angle you found there, man.
Yeah, I know. I have a 12-year-old and I'm seeing the same thing. So
there you go.
That was the origins of it. Yeah.
Tell me about Faster Than Fire. What's that one about?
Yeah, Faster Than Fire is based and inspired on the fires of California in 2018 in the fall. Which kind of decimated and devastated very close to the area where I lived, and then, you know, so many families. And it's just kind of not an unsympathetic look, but kind of an unflinching look at it, and just kind of the power of Mother Nature and how, you know, dreams and lives are changed and destroyed in a matter of moments, and that, you know, there's not much warning, and there's not much in the speed and the merciless power of Mother Nature can be pretty extreme and life-changing.
Yeah. And in the press release, the lyrics of The Rapture are described as what happens when the moral compass spins wildly out of control. Can you explain on that one a little bit?
I tend to sometimes go into these kind of dark fantasy, murderous places. And this one was, I thought, kind of just trying to get to the nature of kind of the most primitive, dark parts of man, is that kind of that need to hunt and kind of bloodthirsty need for flesh almost. So
Wow.
That one's pretty dark. Yeah.
And I think that River of Love and Loss has also a dark feel to it, but almost like a soundtrack kind of mood, right?
Yeah, that one there's a real nice marriage kind of between mood and lyric, and feel in that whole song. I mean, that one feels, I don't want to say it's like I was channeling like a Johnny Cash kind of thing, but it's a darker thing, and there's not really a chorus. It's just kind of the story with that musical kind of instrumental hook that comes up. But it's definitely very cinematic kind of style of writing, but definitely sets a pretty intense mood, which I like.
And I gave it a few spins already preparing for the interview, and I think the album as a whole is a good one to listen while on the road, don't you think? While driving?
Yeah, I mean, my goal is to make every song count and make it be a journey and sequence the album in a way that you're going to want to listen to the whole thing through and have it be an emotional ride. Let alone, even if it's not a concept album, like have it feel every moment and try to. I feel like it's, especially in these times, it's great. It's a good escape. You got 42 minutes of diving into somebody else's head and somebody else's stories. And yeah, I think it's a good one. I'm proud of it.
And in parallel with your albums, you also do a lot of work for the film industry. Sons of Anarchy, Californication, The Punisher. How did you get to do that?
I'm just lucky enough that people have found my music and found the songs. Majority of those, I mean, other than a couple that I did with Sons of Anarchy, were all like pre-written, pre-recorded compositions that I already had in the well, and they just found them, and decided to use them in their shows. The majority of them aren't collaborations; they're just from my head, and luckily they fit in some kind of scene or fit with some kind of storyline. But I did do "Come Join the Murder" for Sons of Anarchy, which was a collaboration, which was written lyrics by the creator Kurt Sutter, and then myself and Bob Thiel put that to music and melody. And then they had me come in and sing on things which I really didn't have much to do with the arrangements. I would just come in and sing on like House of the Rising Sun and Bohemian Rhapsody. And then everything else was just things that I've written, not with really TV or film in mind, just my little brain just doing my thing,
Okay. But when you write specifically for a show, it's a whole different process, right? You need to think about the scenes and how it affects the whole mood of the show, or...
Yeah, I haven't done that much. I mean, I've done that in the past a few times where I'm actually writing to picture, but I haven't done that much. And the majority of the ones that have had any, on real, I've had some in I've written stuff for a few surf movies and stuff like that. But that's 20 years ago that we're talking, Almost all the stuff that I've written was already written, and they decided it would be a good fit for that portion of the show that I wasn't actually writing to film or to picture,
I understand. And you had a tour booked for the UK, Italy, and the Netherlands, but obviously that's not going to happen. That was in April and May, I believe. Do you have anything already being rescheduled for the second semester? Or?
I believe that we've already rescheduled a lot of those UK shows, Netherlands and Italy, for late November, early December. And then we're working on, starting to do. We had a bunch of shows that we had on the books, but we hadn't announced yet. Especially when this stuff when everything started spreading and everything started escalating so fast that we felt it better to kind of hold off announcing stuff that was most likely going to get canceled, or just in the not knowing. I thought it was better to do that rather than disappoint a bunch of people. So yeah, there's going to be a bunch of more touring, both hopefully later this year, and then 2021 going to be getting after it.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for any kind of show at this moment. Even if Justin Bieber decides to play, I'll be happy about it.
Right? I know.
Yeah. And in parallel with that, you're doing a few episodes on YouTube called In the Garage to keep in touch with the fan base, which is really cool, right?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, that's just a funny little brainchild that I had. It's a place where I go and write, and just there's no pressure. It's just a silly little thing, and I just do these little silly shows where it's just me talking and doing some shenanigans, and then playing a song. It's kind of cool because it lets people into kind of the lighter side of my personality, which there is a bit of a duality in in the fact that I write pretty heavy songs and some dark songs, and emotional songs, and then on the other hand, I'm fairly lighthearted and enjoy a good laugh on the other side of my personality. So it's nice to kind of do that. I feel real comfortable doing it, and they're fun. And yeah, people really seem to like them. So
I saw a few. Very funny episodes.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you.
Man, let's finish off. If you can send a message to the fans, to the people that are anxious to hear the new album.
I really hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you can dive into all the songs. I'm really proud of it, and there's a lot going on, and I feel it's really no better time to have something that hopefully people can attach their hearts and minds to something, especially in this thing. And music is a thing that heals, and it's at least an escape for a moment. I'm hoping that I achieved that for some people, so I'm really hoping so.
Awesome. Jake, thank you so much for your time, man, and all the best with the new album, and stay safe out there.
Thank you, sir. You as well.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Okay, everyone. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this interview with the White Buffalo. You can listen to it also on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Also, please follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to finish the interview with the song Problem Solution from the White Buffalo's new album, On the Widow's Walk.
Tell me what's wrong with my brain. Does it like to be stuck in the drain? Swimming till I'm going insane. Or do you want to sit there and complain? Oh, tell me what's wrong with my mind. Does it take me to a place unkind? Chasing something that I won't find. Or does it want to sit there and rewind? Well, they say follow your heart, but it's confused about everything. Does it hide from the truth till there's only proof for what a heartache brings? What's wrong with your heart? Tell me what's wrong with your heart. Was it cold and beaten from the start? Did it grow old or did it just get smart? Or did you just tear it apart? Oh, tell me what's wrong with my songs. What happens when they don't sing along? When the words and the chords just to come out wrong. Where the hell do I belong? Well, they say follow your heart, but it's confused about everything. Doesn't hide from the truth till there's only proof for what a heartache brings. What's wrong with your heart? Cause nothing's gonna change. Nothing's gonna come and fix it all. I fell for it's all my fault. Nothing's gonna change. Well, nothing's gonna come and break your fall. Cause life is gonna break your bones. Well, it's a new day. One more chance to step in the light. Sun is out. Feel what it's all about. Well, they come and go. Highs and lows that lead to the dark and light of my mind. But they're so sincere, triumph and fear, coursing, forcing their might. Well, you can't live this life straight, so get high or get gone. Well, I think it's a little too late to be moving on. No one is really to say what's right, what's wrong. So let's just get through the day. Maybe a new way to get more fists for the fight. Fight or flight. I rechecked the meter, but the meter was right. When the dance is done, still nobody won. No ribbon, no paradise, just bums and bills and bad advice. But at least you took the time to take the transcendental ticket to ride. Well, I can't live this life straight. I get high get gone. Well, I think it's a little too late to be moving on. Who is really ever to say what's right and what's wrong? So let's just get through the day. So let's just get through the day. Let's just get through the day. So let's just get through the day. Let's just get through